Low-carb baking can be incredibly frustrating. One recipe produces a beautiful loaf, and the next one comes out dry, crumbly, or strangely wet in the middle. And the advice you often hear sounds simple. Just substitute this flour for that one, often in a 1-to-1 ratio. But if you've ever baked long enough, you know it rarely works that way. Different flours absorb water very differently, and that changes everything about a recipe. Its texture, structure, and moisture. There's another shift happening in the low-carb world as well. More and more people are experimenting with higher protein flours to improve baking results and increase protein intake. But that raises an interesting question. Does protein actually change how a flour behaves with water? Today we're going to test 6 different flours side by side and watch how they hydrate using the exact same amount of flour and the water required for each type. Because if hydration really is one of the hidden variables in low-carb baking, these bowls should reveal it pretty quickly. Traditional baking relies heavily on wheat flour, and wheat works well because it contains starch and gluten. Those structures absorb water and create a familiar texture we expect from bread and baked goods. Low-carb baking, we are working with ingredients that behave in completely different ways. Some flours are made from nuts, some from seeds, some are almost entirely fiber, and a few newer options are designed specifically to increase protein while lowering carbohydrates. As you know, protein can influence structure, while fiber dramatically changes how water is absorbed and held in a batter or dough. So today we're looking at 6 flours that represent very different ingredients: almond flour, keto wheat flour, lupin flour, coconut flour, flaxseed meal, and psyllium husk. Each bowl contains the same amount of flour, and we'll add water step by step to see how each one reacts. Let's start by adding the same amount of water to every bowl, 2 tablespoons. This first pass shows the initial reaction when moisture first hits each flour. Almond flour mixes easily but stays fairly loose because it contains natural fats and very little starch. Keto wheat flour thickens slightly and begins forming a batter-like consistency. Lupin flour, which is high in protein and fiber, thickens a bit more but still stays smooth. Psyllium husk thickens almost instantly, creating a dense gel structure even with a small amount of water. And then flaxseed meal begins forming a gel as its soluble fiber activates in water. And coconut flour reacts very differently, immediately absorbing moisture and becoming noticeably thicker. At this point, something becomes clear. 2 tablespoons of water really isn't enough to fully hydrate any of these flours. So we'll add another 2 tablespoons or more and see how they each develop. Almond flour still remains fairly loose, even after more liquid. Keto wheat flour now behaves much more like a batter. Lupin flour appears to thicken into a smooth paste. The psyllium husk continues to thicken rapidly, forming a very elastic structure that absorbs far more water than the other flours. The flaxseed meal develops a much stronger gel. And the coconut flour becomes extremely dense as its fibers absorb more water. What this really shows is that each flour plays a different role in the kitchen. Almond flour works well when you want tenderness and richness, but because it absorbs very little liquid, it often needs eggs or binders for structure. Coconut flour absorbs enormous amounts of water, which is why recipes using it usually call for extra liquid in eggs. Flaxseed meal and psyllium husk create gel structures, and that helps low-carb breads hold together. Lupin flour and keto wheat flour bring more protein into the mix and can help create a more bread-like texture. Once you understand how these flours interact with water, many baking problems start to make sense. Understanding hydration is one of the keys to successful low-carb baking. Instead of guessing which flour might work in a recipe, you can start choosing ingredients based on how they actually behave with moisture. And that small shift makes baking much more predictable. But I'm curious about something. Are you experimenting more with higher protein flours lately, or are almond and coconut flour still your main ingredients? Let us know in the comments. And in the next video, we're going to take one of these flours, coconut flour, and put it through a real baking test to see how all that hydration actually affects a finished recipe.